UEFA Champions League. Welcome you on the show. 360 Sport on Trust TV. Adeni Shafe. Time to take you around the world of sport. We saw those goals there scored by different clubs over there in Europe. Yesterday was a night of actions, just the way it happened on Tuesday. I'll be looking at the results of those games played yesterday. But a good one, looking at Ademola Lookman, he won't stop scoring. And also, all the teams that won yesterday, you have a glimpse of the video of those games there. Right now, we look at the first story that we look at on the show that has to do with the UEFA Champions League, where Lookman did so well by being able to score in that particular UEFA Champions League. Let's look at the first story that has to do with UEFA Champions League. Lookman fires Atalanta to win over Stuttgart. Well, good one for Lookman for being able to do it, and really, the man that has been nominated for African Player of the Year is really on fire right now, being able to score, and he has done it back-to-back again for his team, Atalanta Bergamo. And congrats to him and to the entire Nigerians. The young man will stop scoring, and really, Nigerians are happy that he's really on fire right now. Looking at that particular game that was played yesterday, Atalanta defeated Stuttgart, and you just have to give kudos to our own star player, Ademola Lookman. And from that, we quickly look at the result. Shocking result from different moments in the world of Champions League. Just the way it happened. On Tuesday, Club Brugge 1-0 against Aston Villa. Aston Villa has been doing so well. They lost their game. Young Boys won. Shakhtar Donetsk 2. That's the team from Ukraine. Feyenoord play 1-3 against Red Bull Salzburg of Austria. A good one for Red Bull Salzburg as they were able to win 3-1. Inter Milan played Arsenal 1-0. What happened to Arteta this lad? Well, that's football for you. PSG, they lost at home at the Parc des Princes against Atletico Madrid. 2-1 ended in favor of the visiting team. Barcelona, while up in Red Star Belgrade. 2-3-4-5-2 in that encounter. Congrats to them. Lewandowski on rampage there. You have Sparta Prague 1, Brest 2, and you have Stuttgart against Atalanta ended 2-0, where we talk about our own Ademola Lookman scoring one of the goals there. Bayern Munich show class against Benfica. It was a peeping, just 1-0. They defeated Benfica, but that one, it got them 3 points that they wanted at stake in the UEFA Champions League Match Day 4, the remaining part of the completion of Match Day 4 result that was played across Europe on Wednesday. They play some on Tuesday, but now we have to look at how the table is standing, and it's a big one right now because Liverpool are really not walking alone. They are taking everyone along with them. Congrats to them being able to top that particular table so far. They are number one there. You can't take anything away from Liverpool. They are showing class, and Slot is really showing that he's a coach to be reckoned with. And you look at Sporting CP, Amorim taught Guardiola to play football as they were able to win. And you look at him coming to Manchester United. Can you say or beat that? The fear of Amorim is the beginning of wisdom for Guardiola. Maybe. Let's see. I hope that it will actually last. Sporting second on the law with 10 points. And you have Monaco, Brest, Inter, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, and Aston Villa. And to let you know, no one saw this coming. That these are the teams that will be topping the table. A lot of people were looking at maybe Real Madrid, maybe Manchester City or Barcelona topping. But to let you know that between 1 to 8, they will automatically qualify for the round of 16. From 9 to 24, be fighting for a place, while from 25 to 36 are all automatically relegated. You look at where Real Madrid is standing, they are 18 there. Bayern actually standing 17. Arsenal 12, Juventus 11, Man City 10, Atalanta they're standing 9 there. Just to let you have a feel of what happened on match day 4 of the UEFA Champions League over there in Europe. Well, for Liverpool, really, they are not walking alone, and they are doing well so far, trying to see how they can maintain it. It seems Anslot has got the rhythm of that particular club, and kudos to him. And let's see how it continues to change. As at last time, day 3, it was Aston Villa who was actually standing top, but they are now standing 8th. You can imagine that. And so, let's see what will happen between now and January. Who stays top between 1 and 8, and who actually goes down. The big boys are really struggling. The likes of Bayern, Real Madrid, AC Milan, all struggling to see how they can stay top there. Well, from there, we'll actually talk about the UEFA Champions League for you to have a feel of what happened, like a summary of it. Big one happening. I love the fact that this particular league phase is much more very, very interesting. Well, from there, let's come back home and talk about our ladies who actually traveled to that's Liberia to play basketball. We talk about FIBA women basketball competition taking place there. Our women did well. That's Nigerian custom team. They were able to show their class. They won their game That's 66-59, showing class against the team from Liberia, Society Omnisport. They won their first game against Energy of Benin, and right now they also won their second game. And you have to give congrats to the team from Nigeria, Nigerian Customs ladies, giving us pride at the FIBA African Women Basketball League Zone 3 qualifiers taking place in Liberia. Kudos to them for what they are doing, and hopefully they'll win their last game, and we want to see them also triumphant there in the qualifiers. Nigerian sportsmen and women are really doing well right now. They are hot in town, and from there, that also takes us to handball. Do you know that our team also did well over there in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa? Let's look at handball right now. That is IHF African Face Under 18 Championship that took place in Ethiopia, precisely in Addis Ababa. They were able to win. Nigeria beat Guinea, crowned back-to-back champion. They were able to do well. They won their first game against Zambia. They actually won. Also, they faced Cameroon. They visited Cameroon, and that was how they were able to make it to the semi-final. Also, getting to the final against Guinea. They did it back-to-back right now. Nigerians are champion in the Under-18 Handball Championship that took place in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Celebrating all the Nigerian stars out there, be it in football, basketball, be it in handball, judo, taekwondo, dambe, or AFC. Help celebrate Nigerians. They are really trying to do well in different sports they find themselves. Like I always say, not everyone will play soccer or football. You can see now, these are handball players who really did well. They shone like million stars, and to let you know that they've qualified for the world competition, yet to be named city that will be hosting them. So right now, they represent Africa, and we are so glad that the team from Nigeria has been able to turn things around, winning this trophy back-to-back, retaining it, and also going to qualify for the World Championship. Congrats to the IHF Under-18 handball team of Nigeria, led by Emeka Namani, and also congrats to HFN for being able to push for this team to travel and play this competition. Aside that, congrats to Nigerian custom ladies, our basketballers, doing so well over there in Liberia. And also for Ademola Lookman and other Nigerians that apply their trade in Europe. Congrats to all of them for being able to do well. But right now, we just give you all the wrap when it comes to football, handball, and also basketball. But this time around, that particular sport that are actually interwoven. You've seen a lot of those clips from our station that's to do with Dambe and AFC. We have them this hour. We'll be focusing on Dambe and African Fighting Championship, 2-in-1 together on the show. Well, it's not a kind of sport that you easily go into. You have to be very careful. If you are not strong enough, don't go into it. You can play with other sports, but don't play with Dambe, don't play with African Fighting Championship. If you are not fit, you are out. This is the sport we're going to be focusing on. Our focus, like I said, is on Dambe and African Fighting Championship, as we have that focus there right now. Well, in the studio with me, we have people who actually, they've been into the system of fighting, and also their coaches. Well, to my immediate left-hand side is Matthews Rizak, the one they call White Mamba, who is a Dambe fighter and also AFC fighter, including AFC coach. Good to have you in the studio, White Mamba.
Thank you.
Okay, and also we have to the far left is the head coach of African Fighting Championship, who also has seen the system of fighting before. So if you see him, you know that. Don't joke with him anywhere you meet him. Well, far left is Christopher Younes. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Okay, so let's quickly run this together as we talk about Dambe and African Fighting Championship. I will start with Matthews Rizak, White Mamba. Well, where is the name coming from, White Mamba?
Because there was Black Mamba before,
okay,
who was representing Mamba mentality. And I have learned a lot from him. So before I got to Africa, I decided to pick this name, okay, to respect this man. You know who was that?
I don't know.
Except that fighting is not a game, so we're not playing fighting. But he was a ball player. That was a Kobe Bryant.
Oh wow, the Black Mamba of basketball. Yes. Anyway, at least I needed to allow you to make that happen. But now you are the White Mamba of both Dambe and AFC.
Yes.
So what actually made you to like, okay, Africa is the place I need to go for Dambe and AFC? It's kind of surprising.
What or who?
You.
God. God did it.
Okay.
Yes, I'm telling you that.
So how did you get into Dambe sport?
Because of my friend. my friend David Osange, who is in charge of Judo Movement Foundation. We used to be in contact since years. And he just called me, Mateusz, because I was preparing myself to get here, to work with him. And he just called me, Mateusz, do you know what Dambe is? I said no. Do you want to fight? I said yes. And then we checked what Dambe is, and I came here without asking any questions. Because I knew this is what is meant to happen.
Okay, you see, a lot of people, when you see Dambe fight, the fear of this particular, that arm that they tied alone is beginning of wisdom. So when you were like, okay, can you do this? Well, you're not afraid. This is Africa.
No, because I was ready to die. If you are ready to die, you are not afraid.
Okay.
Because everything is a gift. If you are ready that this moment you are going to die, everything what happens till this moment is starting to be a gift. So you switch your mind to be grateful that I'm still alive. So it's different.
Okay, let's talk about the rudiment of Lenny Dambe before we go to AFC. So why you got to Nigeria and you started the training? Take us through it quickly.
Why?
The training of Dambe.
Oh, that was like 6 days notice. I had some training. I have learned some secrets that helped me a lot. Because Dambe is a story to tell. That's a deep story to tell. So I know nothing yet about Dambe, but I could get enough knowledge to win this fight, because that was about the knowledge. That was a spiritual game. So that is not a game actually, that's a martial art. So that's a different set of rules. You have to dig deeper to go into it.
Okay, so I'm still coming back to you to talk about Dambe anyway. Now, let's quickly rush to, since we are jamming two together, AFC, African Fighting Championship. You are the head coach of AFC in Nigeria. And I wanted to at least let people out there that are watching, what is AFC all about?
So AFC is the African Fighting Championships. We're based here in Abuja.
Our goal is to bring up all of the African talent that's available, not just here, but internationally, and to bring them all here where they have the environment that allows them to compete, to actually make it a career decision. And, you know, also just to follow their dreams. You know, everybody wants to become a champion, so that's what our platform is for, is to breed champions and give them that chance.
Good one, at least for people to understand it. And, you know, the similarities, although with Dambe, but quite different. Now, look at it, the way they dress. They are wearing clothes. Dambe don't wear clothes, right? No jersey. These guys are wearing jersey. They have their kits, both their hands, their gloves rather, in both hands. Dambe is traditional. They tie it with rope and all that, and then they are actually wearing some socks on their legs, right?
This is a mature fight. In professional fight, there's no T-shirt, there's no protection on the chin bones, and the clothes are different. So that was the amateur fight.
Okay, that's the amateur fight. The professional fight is quite different.
You are allowed to elbow, so it's also a different tool.
Now, talking about being a coach. Now, as a coach, you are the head coach.
Yeah.
How do you guys recruit guys to be into
be fighting?
Yes.
Well, we have multiple ways. We have some WhatsApp groups, we have some Facebook channels, some Instagram pages, and also we've also launched our website, where you can literally just fill in your information, send us some clips, and we'll see what kind of person we're talking to. Because, you know, we have to start. So we've made sure that no matter what, we're always available to anybody that wants to compete and be part of this. We're here. So those are avenues to reach out to us. And also we have a gym coming up too. So you can meet us at any point. We're always available for everybody.
But still, our goal is quality over quantity.
Yes.
Quality over quantity.
So our net is big, but our filters are very narrow. So we only filter fighters that are very dedicated.
Okay, now let me take you back to Dambe. Your fight, you fought here in Nigeria and you won. And I remember...
I'm the first white guy in
the record has been broken. I remember the commentator saying, Polish, no, referring to your nation. White Mamba, defeat Nigeria. Okay, let's have a glimpse of that particular Dambe fight. Just the one he actually fought, where he actually won that fight. Let's have a glimpse of it briefly.
koma tsakanin ɗan Rusiya da shagon zagiyar mota la ilaha illallah ɗan ƙasar Rasha da ɗan Najeriya. Rasha da Najeriya, Rusiya and Nigeria, Rusiya and Nigeria. Ana da kibarani. Wai subhanallah. Wai ni kaina. Wai Allah. Dan yana tule ya gaji. Dan Allah dan yana tule ya gaji. Subhanallah. Dan Poland na aiki. Dan Poland na aiki. Dan Poland na aiki. Dan Poland na aiki. Dan Poland wanda kai. Wanda kai. Dan Poland ya shauya. Ya shauya dan Poland. Tare da Allah dan Poland ya shauya. Ta buga. Ruwa uban da kai. La ilaha illallah. Dan yana tule aka ci. Tare da Allah ga kocin da ce ta buga. Ta buga a cikin kocin do. Yace ta buga. Garkuwacin do ɗan ɗan tula ilaha illallah ƙarfi ya ɗaya ne ci ɗan lamara ciki.
What if I there? White Mamba, Matthew, he's
I feel the tension right now.
How do you feel seeing yourself in that fight?
Great. I love it. I love it because at the beginning I was wondering to fight and dominate this fight, but when I saw what is happening, and when we talk about the destiny, I knew that I'm going to fight my younger self, and this guy was my younger self. So that was a beautiful fight for me, because I thought that I'm going to dominate him completely, but he did well.
He did well.
Just like I was when I was young. I was a young psycho warrior. I wasn't stopping, and he didn't stop too. So that was a great fight. I love it.
A great fight there. You are seeing Dambe and African fighting champion. You can't take anything from the two, even though they are quite different if you don't know. But really, we are mixing the two together at the show 360 Sport on the Trust TV. But right now, let's cross over away from White Mamba, the one you just saw his fight. Let's talk about African Fighting Championship. As the head coach of that particular championship, I'm talking with Christopher Yunis now. When it comes to this sport, we saw what happened during the fight. I was even surprised to see a lot of Nigerians who are into this. Take us through. It's as if it's really getting more developed in Nigeria.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first started being a coach here, I'll tell somebody I'm training them in boxing, they'll be like, "Oh, it's a violent sport. I'm not sure I want to do that." But over the past couple of years, I don't know, like when the UFC started creating Nigerian champions, the sport here just picked out. And suddenly everybody wants to get involved. Suddenly now you see people, they don't even want to play football. They want to go straight into combat sports. So it really started to pick up in the last maybe 3 years, just out of the blue. But before that, there were a lot of dedicated people who've been trying to get it going. I guess it was just the right time now.
Okay, this is the right time because it's going well now. This is the third year, right?
Third year? No, for us, actually for AFC, this is our first event ever.
Okay, this is the first event that you had
Yeah.
at the Velodrome of MK Abiola Stadium. That was a big one there. Let's have UFC, AFC, so that at least people will know the difference. Even though we are mixing the two, you can see the difference there. These are AFC fighters, African Fighting Championship. It looks more like UFC, but there's still difference there. But really,
no, because this is the same sport. So we are talking about MMA, mixed martial arts. UFC, AFC, this is the name of the promotion, but the sport is the same. So it is going to look the same because this is the same discipline.
Okay, now when it comes to this AFC, you also participate.
Yes, of course.
And you are also a coach.
Yes.
So we actually want him to fight for the next AFC 002.
Seriously?
So the White Mamba wants to fight in everything possible.
Okay, so it means from what you are saying, White Mamba wants to fight also in AFC.
Yes.
But the way he did in Dambe.
Yeah. He's also a mixed martial artist. This guy's a man of combat. So when he said it's God that brought him here, it really is that brought him here.
Yeah, I'm here to fight.
He's here to fight. He's here to compete.
And MMA is my main goal. Dambe was something that came out of the blue, and I just accepted it as my fate.
Okay, so MMA is your real drill, and really Dambe has been another one that you love.
Yes.
How did you relate with the Dambe fighters when you came?
Oh, they're amazing. They're amazing. Dambe is a martial art of love and respect. You can die in the ring, but outside of the ring, there's only respect. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Even in the villages, the kids there, the kids that are trained, they are fighting for real, but outside of the arena, there is no bad blood, only respect. They are behaving like pro fighters that they should behave. Even more, they are behaving better, even sometimes when the professional MMA fighters here that are adults. So we could learn a lot from Dambe.
You can learn a lot from Dambe. Well, right now, if you're just joining us, we are looking at Dambe and African Fighting Championship. That's sports, the mixed martial arts sport are really going places right now. Well, even though Dambe is traditional, we have seen people coming from abroad to come and fight. One of them is White Mamba, holding that record as the first Polish fighter of Dambe to win in Nigeria. Congrats to him. And now, talking about the technicality of AFC. You are the head coach. Can you take us through at least just maybe like summary of it? People to just have an understanding.
Okay, so what we're doing, we're in collaboration with the NMAF. We have both a contender series and the pro circuit. Our goal is not just immediately somebody just jumps into the pro leagues. You know, you have to give them the opportunity to fight opponents that are on similar skill levels. That way it's not just you thrown in the deep end immediately. What we're trying to do here is to foster an environment where people can work their way up into the pro circuit. That way we're building elite caliber of athletes. And now with my coach here, Mateus too, we're able to create that environment where iron sharpens the iron. The most important thing of this thing is the mentality behind it. So if you're looking at this clip here, this is the amateur circuits. So normally an amateur fighter would never get this opportunity to be on a stage like that, but we want to showcase that we're willing to build everybody from the ground up. That's why these guys are in the outfits, they're in shin guards. This is all the same rule set, just on a bigger stage. So we're working on creating both the contender circuit and the pro circuit right now.
Contender circuit and pro circuit from the African Fighting Championship, and really it's growing in Nigeria. That's why we just have to bring them. A lot of Nigerian youths are already into it. The one you just saw, these are amateur, but really they are looking at making it bigger in the 002. And we just have to look at it. And when you look at martial arts sports in Nigeria, it's going places, and before you know it, we begin to see Nigerians making a lot of money and also making name for themselves and a living from this sport of African Fighting Championship, and also including Dambe. Now let's come back to White Mamba. White Mamba, I want to ask one funny question, because I saw the fact that when you were fighting the Nigerian guy, there was a time you were almost tired, that your glove or whatever, actually the rope removed, and it was as if you were losing this fight. What was going on in your mind?
Which moment? Only the first round was tough.
When that your
after that was easy.
Okay.
Because the first round was shocking, because that's a different fight. So I had to adapt in the second round. So I switched my position, and then I started to fight differently.
So after the fight, what happened? After the fight, you and the guy that you defeated?
Oh, I went to him. We were talking because he was devastated. So I have cheered him a lot, but he was broken. So that was a hard time.
You couldn't believe that someone from Poland would come and defeat him in his country, I guess.
Oh yes, that's true.
That's sport for you. You know, you just have to be prepared.
Because they are tough, and that's showing only how tough they are. Because this kid was 20 kgs less than I.
Whoa.
20 kg. What about you?
I was like 90 something at this time. He was 75.
Okay, you weigh more than him.
This is the level of dangerous of Dambe fighting, and they knew that. They didn't want us to be killed there.
Okay, are we expecting you in the next Dambe fight again?
Yes, of course. I am going to be the first foreigner Dambe champion in the heavyweight.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's
a record not to be making joke with. Yeah. I just hope you are ready for
this. If we made the history once, let's do it twice. And then we are going to do it third time with the AFC.
Okay, now let's focus on AFC now. African Fighting Championship, like we know that the 002 is coming, and we know that a lot of Nigerians are really ready for this development about AFC. I'm talking with Christopher Eunice now. when it comes to, you say you are under NMAF, Nigerian Martial
Mixed Martial Arts
Association.
Federation, sorry.
Okay, which has been already, it's official that they are known right now.
Yes.
They are officially registered. And how is it with the federation?
It's very good. They're giving us the avenues to create a better and smoother ride with the officiating, the refereeing, because part of the problem here is that a lot of the other people are not actually following the rules. They're not protecting the fighters. They're not. They're more trying to make it an entertainment thing. We're trying to create a professional circuit.
And the bias problem, I would say.
Exactly. And so we want proper judging, proper reffing, proper medicals to make sure everybody's safe and secure, and they can still compete at the highest levels.
Yes.
Now you mentioned proper ref, proper judging, right? Those are the technical terms.
Yes.
Now when you say proper, can you clear it?
Well, so what people don't know, that when you enter a fight, it isn't just go and beat the other guy up. There are certain things that are counted as higher, certain moves which are illegal, and certain things that are not simply permitted at all. So what we're trying to do is to also teach the referees and the judges. They're going to have to attend a certain protocol, which is like a monthly protocol. That way they're always up to date on the relevant things that they need to know. That way no one's out of the blue so shocked or what's going on, and everybody is safe with proper standards.
Let me put it that way as well. The amount of pressure that is put into the cage. Only the fighter and the other person that can feel the pressure as well is the ref. So we need to teach people around here to manage the emotional level, because the emotional level is so huge that most of the people at the beginning, they are collapsing, they are just going crazy. And we cannot blame nobody for that, because this is a rookie experience. So we need to teach people how to act in a professional manner outside of the emotions. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
I was fighting once with a professional special forces guy. He was jumping from the parachute to the forest every single day. And he told me that he never experienced something more stressful than an MMA fight. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay, good one there with Matthew Rizak, Dambe fighter, AFC fighter, and also a coach joining us on the show to talk about Dambe and African Fighting Championships, where he's also a coach. And also we have Christopher Yunus, the head coach of African Fighting Championship in Nigeria, and he's really doing well, because if you see those fights, you really give kudos to the AFC for being able to come up with this particular 001 championship that took place at the Velodrome of MK Abiola Stadium in Abuja, where those fights happened. We were there, we covered it, and we'll be able to give you some glimpse of what is happening. And if you look at AFC, really very interesting. In fact, you will not believe that you were in Nigeria watching those fights. You'll be like, okay. I was almost feeling as if I was inside the octagon watching those fights, the AFC. I was like, okay, this is how it feels. Whenever they are doing this fight, you always feel, oh, from afar or from TV, but now
it's different.
It's a different feeling.
When you are next to the cage, it's different. Then you know what's happening, because sometimes people may think that these punches have no power, but when you are next to the cage, then you can hear and feel the power. Sometimes you can even hear the sounds that fighters are making with pain that you cannot hear in the camera.
Seriously?
Yes, of course.
Okay, Yunus, have you ever done this?
Actually, yeah, I used to fight quite a bit, but eventually I decided that it wasn't for me. You know, you can see I wear glasses. I've always had vision problems growing up, so eventually I realized that, you know what, let me just focus on the coaching part of things.
He's great at that.
Thank you.
His brain is braining very well about fighting, because he's so passionate about this. So we are making already a great team. We are working like
now, before I let you guys leave, I want you guys to at least encourage Nigeria to do this sport. Let's start from Christopher Yunus. What are the way you are going to encourage people to go into this sport? Because we know that a lot of people are afraid that this is combat sport, is dangerous.
So the most important thing is the awareness of the sport, which is what we talked about, that we're creating a gym. We're also partnering with the other gyms too that are supporting our ecosystem. The whole point is to create an ecosystem of development. Then, so that way the athletes are learning the proper moves and the proper techniques, and they start to feel more confident and safe. The next part of it is our collaboration with the NMAF creates a source of like, this is a legitimate thing. It is a safe environment. We have the referees which are properly trained. the judges which are properly trained, the medical staff which are properly trained. So all of those things that may make somebody afraid to be part of this, we're removing those barriers. We want to make a smooth journey as possible. That's what the AFC is here to do.
Okay. Now, do you have Nigerians, your referee, your
Yes, of
coaches
course,
too?
of course. So a lot of our coaches are Nigerians, a lot of our fighters are Nigerians, a lot of our refs are also Nigerians. So some of the guys you saw, most of the fighters like on that night were Nigerian fighters. And some were part of our series, which was the Contender series, where we specifically trained them to get ready for that fight on that day. And it was well, we all won.
Okay. From what you have seen, at least we've been able to clear the barrier that, okay, the fear factor there, keep it aside because we have people that will manage you.
Yeah.
Now, White Mamba, before you go, Dambe AFC, which one is the best for you? Which one would you pick as your best, AFC and Dambe, if you have to pick one?
Oh, that's a tough question because I cannot pick the best one because my thing is MMA. This is my goal, and I am always going to head for the MMA. But as well, Dambe, along this is the part of the journey. And MMA is mixed martial arts, and Dambe is the pure martial arts. So I cannot separate these two. Because when you are a martial artist, you have to learn from everything. And this is the first time in my life when I have the opportunity to learn something through the core. So I cannot say what is better, because this is my life.
Okay, well.
So I cannot put one above the other. But
okay.
My life mission here is MMA.
Okay, while you are doing that mission, have you been tasting Nigerian meals?
Oh, of course. I love Nigerian spice.
Okay.
I love Nigerian spice.
Did you kind of, when you take out a pepper, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good one. If you're just joining us, we've been talking with AFC. AFC are here, the African Fighting Champion, and also Dambe, including both of them, mixing it together like the DJ on the show, 360 Sport. And we've had Matthew Rizak, that's the AFC coach, and also a fighter in Dambe. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And Christopher Yunus, at least head coach of AFC. I want to appreciate for coming on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Good one there. So that's it. We just have to go on a break now. By the time we'll return, we showcase co-founder of AFC who will be joining us right now. Let's have a feel of some AFC fight.
Just up to a strike.
Some AFC fight there for you to have a feel of how it is. This is Nigeria, really. That fight took place at the MK Abiola Stadium. It's not abroad at all. And really, AFC has come to stay in Nigeria. And that's why we are looking at that sport. It's gaining a lot of momentum, really big one right now. And that's why we brought the co-founder of AFC in the studio with us, in the person of Rad Aswane is here. Good to have you, Rad.
No, thank you, Ade. I really appreciate you inviting us onto this show today. I believe you met the two gentlemen very briefly ago, Matthias, the White Mamba, and of course our head coach, Christopher Yunus, who, by the way, is a great fighter, has had a lot of experience, has been in the cage, and unfortunately doesn't want to get into the cage anymore. Although that's what I would like him to do, because I know what he can actually achieve. Now, he's great. He's really great. What the guy has done is he's really transforming the way coaching and training is actually conducted in Nigeria around the whole MMA sport. I know that you showcased a few fighters a little bit earlier. One was Tepdel Patrick, the entertainer. Fantastic. I loved his walkout, pure curation and entertainment. More importantly, I love what he did in the ring, in the cage. You know, he comes from a different background. I believe Teptel is more of a kickboxer than anything else. Now, what you guys saw at AFC 001 was the training, the coaching that we had adapted these fighters to be able to take different techniques and really put it into use. And that's what Teptel did. If you noticed, he completed on the ground. That means his grappling, as some of our commentators on the night also stated out loud, he's really improved. And I'd like to really commend him on that. That's Teptel on the screen right now, as you can see. Now, the other individual is Uche the Unbreakable. Now, that gentleman has actually a beautiful story, and I'd love you to invite him onto this show one of these days. Let him tell you the story, because realistically, he had no other opportunity. All right, he is essentially a security officer. All right, not police, not just a typical security guard. All right, living in the same compound of where, you know, he worked. So he's gone through hardship. He's gone through a lot in life. He's actually a boxer. Now, what you saw that individual do at AFC 001 again demonstrates the effectiveness of what AFC's coaches and head coach Chris Yunus is ready to achieve for anybody that is willing, that believes in themselves, that's determined for succession in the sport. We're here to assist. So please, if, as Chris said, if you guys want to apply, you could go straight to the website. It's afc.ng. Apply through that. Pick the type of series you want to come into. Are you a professional? We will do our due diligence, because we're not going to put professionals with amateurs in the same cage. That's crazy, right? So this is where rules and regulations now come in. And that is why NMMAF is the only regulator, the only authorized by government to license and sanction these events. And that is why we've collaborated with them. Not only for that reason, but because they are the main license provider. They have infrastructure in place. They have really assisted us as much as we've assisted them through this journey so far. But, you know, I think I'm just going to stop there and let you address any questions you have to me.
Okay, as well, the Rad, co-founder of AFC, is really with us here, and he actually break down all the activity that has to do with the fight you saw, and also how it's going for the 001 that happened at the velodrome of MK Abiola Stadium in Abuja, where a amateur fighter, pro fighter actually had the feel of the day to let Nigerians know that yes, this sport, AFC, has come to stay and really is growing. That's why we brought the AFC team to our studio to talk about this. And who knows, from the way it is, Trust TV has always been the station that have been pushing anything Dambe, anything AFC, we are mixed martial art, grassroots sport development. We are there and we are really pushing this. Also, from the way it is right now, Now, when it comes to AFC, you mentioned, yes, they are under Nigerian Mixed Martial Arts Association, be under umbrella and all that. You as a co-founder, what inspired you to go into AFC?
Well, I've been looking at the sport in the area for some time. I saw an opportunity 6-7 years ago. The only downfall was I am someone that likes to abide by rules and regulations. The sport has been considered brawling for far too long. You've seen other platforms and promotion companies excel across Africa, across the continent, and internationally. So for me, I saw something that had or has and still has a massive, as you said, potential for growth. When you said that, you gave me goosebumps. So for me, that is my passion. I believe that what we can do in the entertainment sector and around the sport is first off elevate it, which I believe we showcased some of that on 001. The second is to be able to, as you know, NMAF has just recently been authorized. It's taken NMAF more than 10 plus years, no, less than 10 years, to actually get it regulated and become the authorized regulator. So from brawling to licensing and regulations, this is the very beginning of the sport in this country and on the continent on a scale. I believe what we're doing is we're not looking at the best talent. We're looking at the future generations of Nigerians and Africans on the whole. I know you asked the gentleman, our head coach, a question about the types of fighters. You said Nigerians. Yes, predominantly there were Nigerians, but this is the African Fighting Championship. The reality is that it's open for every person across the continent. And as you've all read the papers, one of our main priorities is to create Abuja, being the capital city of Nigeria, as the main hub for MMA across the continent. And I believe we'll do that. But now let me address your question. Your question was, what inspired me? My inspiration comes from growth. It comes from growth of individuals. It comes from growth of what I can come into and add value to. So I believe what my partner and myself, George Eunice, being Christopher's older brother, have actually achieved is something that really can explode, really take the average Nigerian that, like I said, the amateur series, you had one boxer, you had one kickboxer. They suddenly now know, not completely well-rounded because they've just started their journey, but they achieved what they wanted to achieve on the day of 001. So these sort of things inspire me. Knowing that whatever we can do to assist, whether it's the government's infrastructure, to the individual fighter, to the outcome and pay of the fighter, we're here to do it.
Okay, now, when it comes to AFC 002, what are we expecting?
Well, that's a good question. Before we get to 002, I believe I stated something about 2 weeks ago, and I'm not sure if it was to you or not. I think it was. I did say that we are in the process of building something different around the infrastructure. And that is something that Chris actually emphasized a little bit on. Didn't give you too much information, nor am I, but I'm not going to give you concise dates yet. But what we are planning is very simple. As I said, it's about the future generations of fighters. It's the young, talented fighters. It's the individuals that may have one skill set or two skill sets, depending on the techniques they know, whether it's judo, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever it is, right? We're ready to create a platform, right, that falls into our AFC championships and league, which is called the Road to AFC. Now, we're in the process of creating a production. I think everyone's going to get inspired by it once we release the content, and that is the Road to AFC. So the Road to AFC is all about beginners, amateurs that, you know, haven't even gone into an amateur bout, right? But they want to start this initiative to become one of the best fighters globally. There's a start point. That start point is Road to AFC. It's going to happen every 2 weeks, all right, from a specific point, which I will, again, one of these days, a day, come on and enlighten you a bit more. Now, the idea of that is very simple. You come into the Road to AFC, you fight, you win 3-4 times, you then have an opportunity to come into the next contenders, all right? And in the next contenders, you then have the same opportunity to grow your record, all right? Win the fights and bouts that you're getting, and then move into the professional series once you're completely qualified by rules and regulations of this country.
Good one there. Rad Aswani has been with us in the studio talking about AFC, African Fighting Championship, gathering a lot of momentum, a lot of storms coming on down in that sport, and it really is getting better. And we just can't wait to see how that collaboration will be continuing with Trust TV. I know that's going to be happening at any moment. But right now,
Yes.
when it comes to in Nigeria, the AFC, I know there's no way, when it comes to sports, there's always some little rivalry here and there. AFC, whatever, just briefly.
I did mention this at the press conference. There are rivalries. There are lots, but we don't see it as any obstacle. We see it as a compliment that people think that we are their competition. Unfortunately, for them, we are not their competition. We're far, far, far more than what they're currently doing. Secondly, as Christopher mentioned, going back to rules and regulations, going back to the energy, as White Mamba said, within the cage, all right, and the referees, the officials, the quality of knowledge around the sport, that is the most important thing, and that's why we're here, trying to assist the NMAF to build that capacity so we have a safe sport for anyone to come into. That's one. Two, what we've already done, the UFC has not done it. Maybe we haven't produced it as well, but we are on the stepping stones of doing that. Now, the output, I mean, you saw it. You saw the African Spartan come out. You saw Jeb, come out with his Spartan outfit, his Spartan helmet, the Spartan music, the curation. The experience and entertainment is key right now. Otherwise, it's a copy and paste like every other person is trying to do. First, copy and paste is great. Get regulated, get licensed, make sure that what you're doing is the right thing for all stakeholders, being the fighters, being the shareholders, being the production team, being the media team, being every component to what makes, well, AFC, right? Or your own platform, what your platform is. Okay. So that's the most important thing.
Well, you've actually spoken well, at least giving us a little of elaboration that has to do with AFC, African Fighting Championship. For you out there watching, we appreciate your time with us. We just have to go now. But really, AFC has come to stay in Nigeria, and they are really gathering a lot of storms and momentum, and they are moving and making a lot of Nigerian, also African fighters, to see this platform as an opportunity for them to grow. And who knows, watch out for another set of Nigerians, Africans, Cameroonians doing so well.
And be ready for 002 because it's coming, guys. 002 is just around the corner.
Good one.
And all I can tell you, what you saw in 001, you're going to see something more spectacular in 002. So please be ready. We will announce the dates as soon as possible and start the initiative of where the location may be.
Good one.
I'd like to thank you again.
That's what I need. Thank you for coming on the
you.
show. Well, we just have to wrap it up there. We've showcased the head coach, the co-founder, and also we're talking about UEFA Champions League, talking about handball, and also basketball of Nigerian team doing well over there in Liberia, and also Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. I'm Adeni Ajishafe. As we always say, that sport is business and fitness. Thanks for watching.